And put that back over here. So did you do a little bit more investigating of who you are, how you are, what you are? That's important. Yesterday was inside of the dashboard where you came in this morning to log in and where you're coming to watch the replays or where you're sending people to watch the replays. On the right-hand side is a homework assignment, success assignment for the discovery of self. And what I'm going to be doing is there's going to be a PDF there for each day. That's the homework, right? Activities, action steps that you can do. And then part two of that is I created an avatar. And this avatar, his name is Tommy. And I'm taking Tommy through the process. Tommy's writing out what it is, what it feels like to experience it. So if I did some self-reflection on it, so homework example for Tommy, self-reflection journaling, who am I becoming? Current identity. I feel like I'm just coasting through life. I'm procrastinating and avoiding challenges because I doubt myself. I focus too much on what others think and struggle to follow through on my goals. That's coming from the avatar of Tommy, a 35-year-old professional who seeks career and struggles with self-confidence. The future identity, right? Yesterday was about who are you becoming? I'm confident, disciplined, and driven. I take action even when I feel uncertain because I trust myself to figure out things. So what you're seeing or what you're reading there is after the success work is I actually say, okay, I want to create something for you to follow along, right? To kind of look off of somebody's notes. So that's going to be that PDF is already up on the dashboard. It's under the decision of self-discovery and the decision of self, and it's under day one. All right. So that's just some value add that I'm providing. And today, what we're going to be focusing on is visualization. What does it look like? When you looked at your hand yesterday and you said, how is that hand successful? What transpires, what transforms in that hand? What is the transformation I need to walk to? Today, we're going to go through that visualization. So set your intention for today. What is your intention for this event? What is your intention for this conversation we're about to have? Close your eyes if you're in a safe place, right? What is the intention that you have for today? What is the intention you want to experience today? Does that make sense? What do you want out of this next 45 minutes together? Feel it. Allow yourself to step into it. Because what we're going to be working on today is this idea that we're going to do some vision casting. One of the biggest challenges that I've experienced, that people have shared with me, that students have told me, that my clients have shared with me in the beginning is getting a clear picture. If we look at law of attraction, right? If we look at all of the stoic conversations, we look at Epictetus. Epictetus said that for those of you with desire, put it on the shelf. Now, can you imagine? This is 2,000 years ago. For those of you with desire, put it on a shelf. Until such time you decide what's within your circle of influence and what's outside your circle of influence. Good morning, Jameson. What's within your circle of influence? So draw a paper, draw a circle, draw two circles on a piece of paper, a smaller circle inside a bigger circle. And the smaller circle is everything you control. The bigger circle is everything you can't control. Now, look at the representation of the circles you drew. Are they proportional? Think about it. Think about it. I want you to see if you can draw a to scale drawing of this. One little circle inside and one big circle outside. What you can't control is everything outside the circle. And what you can control is everything inside the circle. Everything you can control inside the circle. Can you control your cat? You can direct it, you can guide it, you can't control it. Can you control the traffic around you? Can you control the weather? Can you control what your company does? Can you control what your teams do? Can you control what your clients do? Be very clear. Epictetus said, for those of you with desire, put it on the shelf. Until such time you decide what's within your circle of influence and what's outside your circle of influence. Only at that point are you allowed to go back to the shelf, pick up desire, because listen, here's how he wraps up this mind thought. Only then can you go back and pick up your desire, because from this day on, you will never have another bad day. See, when people ask me, so how did you get to where you are? How are you always outstanding? Because at 14, I chose to never have another bad day. Things that happened in my world, things that happened in our family's world when I was 14, pretty cataclysmic for us. I can tell you my neighbors didn't feel it at all. It was very universally designed specifically for us. Nobody else mattered. When other people heard it, they went, oh, okay. So I made a decision to not have a bad day. I didn't know what I was saying or how I was thinking. I just made a decision. And so what I want you to decide today is, how big is that circle? Because part of stress, part of your goal setting, is you attempting to control things that aren't within your control. Can you control the compensation plan? Listen carefully. Can you control it? No, you can use it. You can use it. Can you control what water does in your body? If you have some metaphysical capabilities and scale and are connected to the ether, most people, 99%, I'm going to say, don't have the ability to have absolute control over what goes into their body. Their body does what it's supposed to do, which is why your body needs to be healthy, so it can do what it's supposed to do in a healthy way. So today is about visualization. Y'all got your circle? Drop a C in the chat if you have your circles. And the reason that I'm asking you this is the interactive part, right? This is the part where you participate. So we got that over here. Excellent. All right. I see the circles dropping. Great to have you here. And for anybody that's new to today, welcome. My name is Sean Murphy. I'm soon to be sixth time. There's a book we have launching here in the next couple of days. There's it'll be the 6th best-selling book with your help. Best-selling book, #1 best-selling book that I'll be a part of. I've stood on stage in 30 plus countries, translated into over 40 different languages, the messages that I shared with people. And I'm a farm boy from Ohio. Barely made it through high school, drove by a lot of colleges. I share that with you because the 7 certifications that I currently hold as it relates to the brain and body connection are because I wanted to help me get better. And I understood that the thing that I needed to focus on was me. And it wasn't my actions, although my actions are important. It was the way I saw myself. I can tell you the majority, my experience after 40 years of doing this, the reason people struggle is because of the self-image they have, period. And so today we're going to work a little bit on that self-image. We're going to work on how you draw yourself into the world. So if you're ready, drop an R in the chat. Jim Rohn used to have a phrase when he would start a session after he'd do his introduction. He'd say, if you're ready, say, I'm ready. So here we go. I want you to write the date, December, what is today? December 4th? I want you to write December 4, 2025, somewhere on your sheet. We're going to do some notes under this. We're going to do some journaling on day 4, 2025. Now, maybe you're in a year from now, you might be on a vacation, you might be somewhere, you might be home, you might have moved. I want you to fast forward to 2025, December 4th, right now. Where are you? Just write down where you are. So I see Ben in the comments wrote my daughter's 5th birthday. Where's the party being held? Where's the party being held? Held at the house? Did you rent out a hall? Did you, right? Who do you see? Ben would probably talk about his family and his kids and some other people who are attending the party. Write down, who would you see? Who would you be around? It's this time, right? So maybe it's morning. It's really morning for those of you crazy fanatics, fan addicts who are in California. It's in the 4 a.m. area. Who would you see? Would you be meditating? Who's in the house? Who's in the apartment? Who's in the condo? Who's in the hotel room? Are you traveling? Are you on a plane to fly somewhere? I really want you to I want you to kind of just start to pick up the vision. The challenge is in today's social media microwave society of success, we don't give ourselves a chance to dwell in the moment, to really soak in it, to sit in it, to really flow into it, which is why there's a lot of surface, shallow end conversations that go on in the world. So based on December 4th, 2025, what are you most proud of? What are you most proud of this day that got you to here? The 5th birthday. Is there a big surprise that's a family surprise because of your income doubling again? Is there what would it be? Who are you with? What are other people proud about you? What are other people, what makes them proud of you? What's the new energies in your life? So we've kind of set the vision for the day. And I can promise you, if anybody is saying, oh, well, this is stupid, give me the strategies. This is the best strategy you can have, is the ability to visualize. When you understand the brain and the reticular activating system, but there's the part that's before the reticular activating system called the reticular formation system, where you literally form the vibrations. And here's the thing, listen carefully, in all of the parts of your brain that will help you produce the chemicals, produce the actions, produce the feelings, produce the tone, the timbre, the state. Not one of them communicates with words. That's why most people who write down their affirmations, they can write down affirmation after affirmation after affirmation after affirmation. And they struggle because they haven't converted the conversation, they haven't converted the words into the energetic side of success. And that's the emotional download down filing into the limbic system, into the mammalian brain, into the part that doesn't speak words. It only speaks energy. It only speaks feelings. And once you activate and form that energy, right? Wallace D. Waddell says there is a thinking stuff from which all things are made. It permeates and penetrates and fills the inner spaces of the universe. A thought held in this substance will produce the thing held by the thought. This is important. This is the most secret, totally available, not secret that exists. So we've really got to get the emotional charge. And the reason that we struggle sometimes with the emotional charge, this white hot desire, is because our old story shows up and goes, this is stupid. Give me the strategy. What are you doing? Why are you daydreaming? I can tell you, if you want your 2025 to be the best, you're going to allow yourself to dream bigger, to dream more, and to dream faster. So, December 4th, what's your morning routine? What's your morning? How do you feel as you start your day? Right? You're waking up in this place. You're waking up and it's the activities that you thought where you're at are going to be taking place here in just a little bit. You're waking up. What's your routine? Do you have some hydrogen infused water next to you? Are you waking up with sparkling water? Are you waking up with aromatherapy going off? You had a little timer set on your aromatherapy machine and it kicks on at 4:15 in the morning, and all of a sudden you have this beautiful aroma of jasmine or apple or cinnamon, whatever it is that you smell. Is that going off in your room? Is one of your puppies sleeping with you? Who are you waking up next to? You ever watch somebody sleep and just fall more in love with them? Is that part of your morning routine? The reason that I'm throwing these ideas out, because in order for us to have what we've never had before, we literally have to feel a way we've never felt before, which then drive our thoughts so we can think a way we've never thought before. So if we feel a way we've never felt before, and we think a way we've never thought before to produce something we've never had before, those are probably three of the biggest swings we can make towards our success that it's going to be pretty easy to strike out on. This is why it takes massive decision cutting off. It takes in the beginning massive focus with tremendous intention. And only you can do that. A Zoom link, Shamel, is if you go to unlearnme.live, unlearnme.live, and set up your account there. You're going to need to set up an account with your email and your name. So we would love to have you there. So what's your morning routine? What are you waking up to? What is your career like? What is your business like? Remember, this is December 2025. And in arriving at this place, December 2025, this month, you are going to hit, if you haven't already, you're going to hit your financial goal. So I'm guessing your business is kind of busy, kind of booming. You've got some big things that are on schedule for December. This is a Wednesday. It's midweek. Now, I don't know if the 4th is a Wednesday next year. Probably not, but let's just use Wednesday. It's midweek. Do you have any lectures you're going to be speaking this weekend? Are you talking about, has somebody asked you on a podcast to be a speaker talking about how you 10x'd your income in 2025? Are you going to a book signing? In 2025, did you publish your book? Are you going shopping for Secret Santa? And you're going to be the Secret Santa to an orphanage? Did you build your school somewhere in an impoverished community somewhere in the world? And you're making arrangements, final arrangements to go fly over for the opening, the official opening. Did you put a well in? Did you put a couple of wells in for fresh water for communities? Write down some of these ideas. Who are you spending time with? What's the quality of the connections and how they've advanced? Do you have an energetic feel and connection to being present with that person? So now let's go to your evening. It's December 4th, 2025. As you wind down, what are you grateful for? See, as you communicate these things to your subconscious, as you communicate these things to your mammalian brain, as you communicate these things and activate your RFA, your reticular formation activation, the mind does not know it's not 2025. The thing about the conscious, the subconscious, and the unconscious, the thing about those two levels is they cannot reject anything. They accept it as true. The one who throws the wrench in the works is the conscious mind. When you say, I'm sitting at $390,000 and I'm on a run rate this month to do $120,000, that gets me to my $500,000. We'll do the formulation. We'll do the reverse engineering. We'll work on that. I just want you right now to realize that this might be your biggest month ever. 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 So as your evening wind down, what are you focusing on to allow yourself? What are you focusing on to allow yourself this tremendous ability, skill that you've adapted for leverage? Who's working with you? Who's a part of your inner circle that they have just blown you away with their capability and their capacity? This isn't about what you could do. This is about how you can help the most people. And you've become brilliant at delegating, at inspiring. So as you wind down tonight, who might you be thankful for? What skill have you most adapted and adopted in the last 12 months? I can tell you there is not one thing more valuable than you getting crystal clear on this. Did you have chamomile tea as your nightly routine? Did you do some stretching? Are you laying on a grounding mat in your bed so that you are literally connected to the earth? Did you use special skincare under your eyes or on your face? Hyaluronic acid or something that allows you, did you take special nutritionals that may be yours? Could be from another companies that you love, but they've been expensive, but you now can afford them because you understand what it is to be the picture of wellness. Do you have headphones listening to your brain talk, meditation? Are you feeling this? This is important. Allow yourself to sit in it. And maybe you call this, maybe you, as you write this down and spend some more time on it, a day in my future life. Right? So let's map out some of the goals. So I communicate on this about the 6 pillars. So maybe across your sheet, you write these in their columns. Maybe they're paragraphs, and you just give yourself some space to write underneath each one of them. But the conversations, the pillars that I can best guide you in, because they're the ones I work from, are the 5 pillars. And then the center one, the 6th pillar is faith. So finance, since most people study finance and need to work on their finance. So finance is one pillar. You can draw them as pillars, right? Like the Parthenon. One pillar is finance. Another pillar is family. Another pillar is mind. Then body and society and faith. If that's of value to you, you can add it. The other ones I know exist in your world. Family, finance, body, mind, society. Those exist in everyone's world. If you choose faith, then that's a 6th one you can add. I did a 4-hour training this past weekend on goal achieving and setting your mindset, your wealthy mindset. And it's actually a system. What we're building inside of this 15 session series is a wealth system that will produce for you. Because your wealth system is currently producing for you. It might need an upgrade in the wealth processing so it produces better results. So I'm going to ask you your wellness, right? No matter how much our wealth is, if we don't have our health, we struggle. We'll spend all of our wealth to get one more day of health. So what would be your health goals? And just do some big darts in that area. What's your target weight? Right? What's your target weight? What's your what is it, BMI, your body mass? I know there's a new one that they use that's different, that doesn't check just all of the body mass. But what percentage of fat are you? Right? What's that percentage of what healthiness? And these are just big goals to hit, big targets to hit. What's your flexibility? Can you touch your toes? Maybe you can do that already. Maybe you want to be able to do, I don't know, sit down and have your forehead touch your knees. That would be a huge stretch for me. It's possible. I'm working on it daily now. But what's your health? Maybe you have some sugar challenges. What's your sugar number at? Were you able to reactivate your pancreas? Whatever the pig targets, throw some big rocks in there, right? Now imagine those all, you've arrived at those moments. What's the feeling? Write down the word. What's the feeling? What's the emotion? Because this, where you feel this resistance, where you feel this transformation, that's a challenge, where it's the old story, new story, butting up against each other. We'll work on something you can do physically to maximize those goals you've written down and minimize the old story. We'll work on that. Right now, we're just setting the stage. So we got wellness. What's your finances? Is all the debt gone? Now, understanding finances, there's things that are literally called, there's some debt that's called good debt. Good debt is you being able to leverage real estate, right? Are you going to be in real estate? I know everybody wants to be in real estate. Are you going to have some Airbnbs? Are you going to have some rental properties? Are you going to buy and have a team of people? I used to have a team of people. I had 13 people. I would go buy the house and then I would inspect the house. I didn't do the work. I found my team. Do you have a team of people that can go revamp a house to your wants and wishes and then sell it and flip it? Oh, I never thought about that. This is why we do this. It's about vision casting. Hey, listen, and maybe there's not a snowball's chance in Haiti you want to be in real estate. But remember, this is all part of you waking up today, 2025. So you have some wellness goals. What does success look like in your finances? So let's go to mind. What have you done working on your mind in 2025? Can you have a thought, conspire with the universe, create a vision of it that produces a story, and your story is wildly in tune, in touch, in focus with your overall dream, that you instantly develop a strategy that produces the results 9 times out of 10. Is your mind allowing you to go from lesson to lesson to lesson without delay? Where maybe last year, 2023, 2022, you'd go, oh, that didn't work. And you'd have this big delay in action. You now know in your mind that there is no failure. There's only lessons and results that you either want more of or want less of. So what are some goals for your mind? The ability to see what others can't see, the ability to craft what others can't craft, the ability to arrive, the ability to inspire, hear what others aren't saying. And in your mind, you can help craft a plan for them. This making sense? So we've got wellness, we've got finance, just some big goals. We're not going deep into them yet. Big goals. We've got some big goals on our mind. How about family? What's some things around family? Is there anyone that you had to forgive? You were waiting on them to forgive, to say they were sorry, to apologize. You realize that's you. Buddha said, waiting on somebody else to apologize is like you holding the hot coal, hoping it burns them. What do you need to let go of family-wise? What do you need to attract more of family-wise? Who do you want to be closer to? Remember, you're the one doing the work on you. You are so powerful that when you have a thought, when you have a vision, when you have an image, it literally influences others. So what's your family, big goals in family? Is it to start one? Is it to have one? Is it to have a significant other in your life? Feeling it? And now society. When we did the goal workshop this past weekend, it turned into a 4-hour conversation. It was awesome. I loved it. When I ask people where to focus their time, out of the 5 pillars, where would you focus? I'm going to say 10 out of 10. Everybody was focusing on their finances. That was their main goal. Number 2 was wellness and everything else. But finances was most people's big target. And you can have finances as your biggest target. I want to let you in on a little change the way you look at things, Wayne Dyer moment. I asked people which pillar, if finances is the biggest one, which pillar might you need to work most on? Because having a goal doesn't mean it's in a particular pillar, right? So if I have a financial goal, which pillar might I need to work most in, get better at, to ensure that my strategies in my finance achieve that goal? Follow me? Most people were shocked that they need to work in their society goal, their society pillar. Wait, how is that? If your income model, if your business stream requires customers, requires clients, can benefit from repeat customers, repeat clients, people who will buy your books, people who will buy your trainings, people who buy your services and products. If you have a business model that can allow people to expand on the story and offer them a reward system for telling, for sharing, called leverage, called the networking industry, then your goal is to teach people how to tell the story. So in order for you to hit your financial goal, it is paramount that you become brilliant in your society goal, in your society pillar. Most people's heads kind of spin around and pop off when they think, I got to work in my society. That is the only place you can work. If that kind of hits you like some bricks, drop a B in the chat. And some of you were on the training this weekend. The key is that until you understand your society, until you activate your abilities and skills to move people, to motivate people, there's nothing going to happen in your finance. Do you realize that it's not about you becoming a social media influencer? It's about you providing information that allows people to have more influence over themselves. I'm just curious on YouTube. Is that Sammy? It may not be, but the Sanchez part gets me. And the Shamil, I'm not sure if that's Sammy, who is an OG to the morning show, but we'll see. So now if you focus on this idea of society, what changes? What would success look like in society if you have 50,000 people in your organization? What would success look like in this area in December 2025? Now, underneath each one of those, today we might go a little bit longer than the hour because oh my gosh, Sammy, I love you. Sammy is this mom, brilliant mom of 4 kiddos, maybe 3 kiddos for sure, I think. Amazing. And they've got to be 8 or 9-year-olds now. Anyway, she's a beautiful woman that I love and just so excited to see her. So, what does it mean? What would it mean to have success in those areas? Why would it be important to you? So, under your health, why would it be important to hit your body weight? 3. Okay, good. Why would it be important for you to hit your goal in wellness? Why would it be important to hit your goal in family? I weigh 180 pounds. I feel energized, and I run a half marathon in October 2025. I have 50,000 in savings, no credit card debt. My monthly income is 10K a month. You see it, you feeling it? Sammy, we're at episode like 1,980. So yeah, we've been going strong. It's so good to have you back. So now this big goal, imagine all of these goals, imagine all of your pillars, and then faith, right? What would it be like to have, if faith is valuable to you? I'm okay either way for you. If it is, what does it look like? Are you spending time not just in prayer and meditation? Are you tithing to any organization? Doesn't necessarily have to be to the church. It says give 10% to God, but I think in today's world, there's some godly places that you can serve people, right? So, what are the things that you want? What are the things that you want? Example, I want $50,000 a year. Why? Because I want financial security. Why? So I can provide for my family. Why? Because I want my kids to feel safe and supported. What's the emotional payoff? Love and stability. What's the emotional payoff? The EP. What's the EP in every one of those? Does that make sense? Now, one of the things you've heard about over the course of your career, if you've done anything in personal development and in vision casting, is the vision board. The reason the vision board works so well is because it gives the limbic system, it gives the mammalian brain the image. Where most people's vision boards fall to pieces, the reason somebody will say, listening to this right now, oh, I've tried a vision board, it doesn't work for me. You're right. It doesn't work for you. Until, one of Jim Rohn's favorite words. Here's the secret to vision boards. It's the emotion tied to them. When I did self-talk training, self-talk university, and I had people create their vision board. Anybody remember if you attended that, what you had to do, what I suggested you do for each image, for each picture? Curious to see if anybody remembers those.
We had to write stories, and we had to, much like what you do with the mind and body, we had to write little stories as to what that meant. And we had to put words. It wasn't just pictures on our board, but we had put words in there too that meant stuff to us.
So one of the things I would encourage you now, my students, when I mentor you, and those of you that came through the Secret Sauce Academy and the Self Talk Academy, you had to write out 1,000-word story. 1,000 words. How many of you just went 1,000 words? Yep, RC. RC in the house. I love you, brother. I had to write 1,000-word story. RC, Shammy is here. Shammy's on YouTube right now. Remember little Shammy Sanchez with her 3 little kiddos and that beautiful long hair, that beautiful Puerto Rican spirit of hers? She's on YouTube right now. And RC is saying hey to you, Shammy. So this is so cool. What a blessing. God, that's so awesome.
John, I've been
Yes.
trying to get her the link because she's been asking me for the link, and for some reason it doesn't let her join the Unlearn Me Live community.
Okay. I'll have to check, Shammy. I'll check on it and see if there's something up with the system. But it's www.unlearnme.live, not com.live. And yeah. So we'll figure it out. Shammy, reach out to me, find me on Instagram or something, and I'll make sure I get you the link. So I had to write out 1,000-word story. So how many of you, your brain is going 1,000 words? That's the old story. That's a clue. Here's the good news. If you're getting resistance on 1,000-word story, you are in absolute tune with breaking free. The resistance isn't outside of you. Oh, she had .com. Yeah, it's .live. Love it, Shammy. This is so exciting. I love her so much. I just want to squish her. She's this little peanut of a powerhouse of a woman. So you want to write this story out. Now, the part that I'm giving you here, this is the easy part. What I'm saying easy, having this conversation, spending an hour getting these sessions done, it's easy. It's so easy. The part that's difficult, the part that's a challenge, is you going to do the work. Every one of you have wild success inside of you. There's really not that much you need from outside of you. We just need to, this is why what I've coined personal undevelopment is what I'm teaching you here, is to stop doing what doesn't work, undoing the old stories, undoing the old patterns. So your vision board is going to be a big thing. I can tell you, I'm working on mine, and it's at a level I've never produced a vision board before, because I'm really taking the time to focus on it. Yeah. So vision boarding each of your pillars and creating a story, because that story will help you with your DMP. That story will help you with your 3x5 card that you'll carry around and read to you. And you'll be able to read that 3x5 card, the bullet points on the 3x5 card or 4x6 card. And in doing so, you will see the entire vision. How many of you, if I asked you right now, think of your car. Think of your car. And if you think of your car, do you see WHEEL 4 times for the 4 wheels on your car? Hopefully your car has 4 wheels. Do you see DOOR? I try to spell windshield, but I probably get it wrong. Do you see windshield, the word windshield? No, you have this image of thousands of particular words. And what this decision of self is about is you to be able to get a vision and an image so strong, so clear, that when you think of it, all of the words run through your head at light speed to give you the solid feeling of emotion that you've never had before. Because remember, I'd write this down if you haven't. In order for you to have the result that you've never had before, the formula is to feel a way you've never felt before, think a way you've never thought before, to take actions that you've never done before, That's the three of the biggest things you can do in all of your life. Feel a way, think a way, and do a way that you've never done before to have a result you've never had before. The formula is there. It's simple. And when you focus on society and building your team and your organization and your community and your tribe, your vibe creates your tribe. Can you imagine that your philosophy is to get people to feel a way they've never felt before about their dreams, not yours? Maybe your dreams inspire them. Feel a way they've never felt before, to think a way they've never thought before, so they can do things, have the courage to do things they've never done before, to produce a result they've never had before. All of what you're going to go do in 2025, you've never had before. You haven't had what's happening on December 5th, 2024. You haven't had it. You have never showed up on December 4th at 10 a.m. Eastern time. You've not been here before. This is all new. And the reason that we struggle with rewriting the new is because we're running off of a habitual pattern called our past. The brain looks for two things: will it kill me, or how fast can you recognize a pattern? And your goal is to be a pattern breaker. Literally right now, if you stood up and did a 360, some of you will do it because you know the value in it. But if you just stood up from your desk and you just spun around and sat back down, you'd be like, oh, what the hell is that? You didn't say that. Your body said that. And what I've learned over 40 years of understanding human nature, understanding sales, and what it takes to sell, Zig Ziglar's transference of enthusiasm, the God within, understanding how the mind controls the body, but then understanding how the body continually controls the mind. It's called habit. And I'm here breaking your habits, giving you a chance to break your habits. Does that make sense? So one of the things we want to do in this vision casting, as you begin to vision cast your dreams, this is one of the biggest foundational pieces you will ever do in your goal achieving. Not goal setting, goal achieving. Shammy Diane says she's a beautiful soul and sweet children. Shammy's on YouTube saying, this is like a family. This is like a block party. Would she say a welcome back party? I love her. I just love her. Welcome. She's like the prodigal daughter for me. Welcome back, my child. Here's the thing. We're going to reverse engineer these goals. And we're going to break it down into quarters. So take your monthly goal, take your annual goal in any of the areas. Wouldn't it be neat to have a formula that once you have the formula, you'll realize maybe you can actually outpace it? So start with first quarter. Look at each of your pillars. This is where you have the homework. This is where you have the success work to do. Look at each pillar. And if your goal is to, my goal is to get down to 210. So I get to lose 10 more pounds. Maybe I need to look at my BMI and all of that stuff. Maybe I get to 200. I'm going to have to buy all new pants again then. So we'll see. Right now I'm at 222. My highest, my biggest, I was at 255. That was before we bought the ranch. So I've got some more. Now I've got the fine tuning. I've got my family goals. I got my financial goals. I've got my faith goals. Starting to was invited to church and going back to church, showing up, doing stuff, being of value. So all of these things. So reverse engineer it. Break it up into 25%. Just do 25%, 25%, 25%. And then realize that it's all about scale. If your goal is a wildly large number, you're 5x, right? We asked yesterday, your income goals, are they 5x, 10x? Some of you were 50x. You're going to have a ramp up period. But just start with, listen carefully. Give yourself a place to begin, a place to put the pin in the map. Reverse engineer and do 25%, 25% for each quarter. And then what you get to do is you get to look at, right? Once you put the 25% goal in there, if your big target is finances, your big pillar is to have financial success, financial freedom, financial wellness, then you have to look at what's the income model that generates that. You'll realize it comes back to society. It comes back to understanding your clients, being more value, providing more value, building your tribe, right? And so now who do you have to become? What do you need to get better at to start hitting those targets in January? And listen, you can leave it at the 25%. This is the vision casting, and then have a carryover. Now, the carryover doesn't require you to do more. It requires you to become better at. Write that down. I'm becoming better at, not do more. What do you need to become better at? Oh, our season, YouTube. I love it. I love it. This is, for me as a mentor, for me as somebody who started this 6 years ago now, this December will be 6 years ago, I started this podcast, this morning show. To see these relationships, to know that I have influence. It's not about doing more. It's about getting better at. I don't need to do more finances. I need to get better at moving people into their goals. For many of you who are in network marketing, who are in the leverage business of providing value to others and getting rewarded, your biggest goal is to learn how to move people, to be able to hear where their pain is, to hear where their blocks are. For those of you that are part of the morning show, you know when I'm about to go break down somebody's wall or invite them to climb over their wall, is I'm going to say to them, you know, I love you. I love you. And I'm about to hit them with the velvet hammer. That's a gift that I've developed. That's a gift that I realized I'm allowed to use if I promise, with my daily intention when I wake up, is to do no harm. Didn't say it won't hurt. It's just to do no harm. Just making sense? So now, are you okay with we going a little bit longer? Drop an L in the chat if it's okay if I go a little bit longer today. And if you need to drop off, you can jump off. This is on YouTube as Shami, the queen of content and conversation there. I love seeing her name there. So, what's stopping me audit? What's stopping me audit? Here's your audit. What's stopping you? I want you to write down your fears and obstacles, because if we don't know what we're facing, imagine this. We're not talking about, some of you may not like the idea of hunting, but imagine we're going hunting for fear and doubt. Imagine how many of you know Elmer Fudd? Rabbit season, right? With Bugs Bunny, Elmer Fudd, cartoon character. We're going hunting for fear and doubt. It's fear and doubt season, right? Get that out of your head now. Yeah, Luis, you got your call coming up, buddy. So we're an hour in. So just go to the YouTube and click forward an hour, and you'll find this spot. So I want you to, we're going fear and doubt hunting. How big of a device do you need? How big of a hammer? How big of a gun? How big of a fly swatter? For those of you that may not like firearms, how big of a fly swatter do you need to swat your fear and doubt? How big is your fear and doubt? Right? How big is your fear and doubt in each of your areas? Not overall. Let's get myopic. Let's narrow it down to your wellness, to hit your 80 pounds or 20 pounds or 100 pounds off. What is your biggest fear? See, this doesn't happen in a day. This isn't about what can I do in 30 minutes. This is about us sitting in the ice bath and feeling uncomfortable. And we'll feel uncomfortable if we know the value it brings us. So what's your biggest fear around dropping 100 pounds, 20 kilograms? What's your biggest fear about stretching? What's your biggest fear about drinking water every day? What's your biggest fear about using your nutritionals? I know some people who have some of the world's greatest nutritionals and they don't take them. So if you know you won't, right? Ben typed in the chat that I won't do the activities. So we need a bigger why. I can get you to do anything you don't want to do. I can get anybody to do anything they don't want to do. Most of you have been around enough to know that when I ask that question, is it possible to get somebody to do something they didn't want to do? The answer is absolutely yes. It's called leverage. It's called leverage. So Ben, you have to wire into you, because you've wired in that won't work for a decade now, if not more, however long you've struggled with your weight. You have to wire in something that just pops that thing right in the nose, knocks it out. And here, I'll give you an example. How many daughters do you have? Is it 2 and 2? I think. I know there's the fourth one is on the way. So how many little girls do you have? I'm going to say, if you don't hit your target this year, you don't walk them down the aisle. How's that for a kick in the gut? You got one. Yeah, you knew that. Alex knew that was coming. So you have one girl. Is she going to want you to walk her down the aisle? She's going to love you. She's going to love you no matter whether you're a big fatty or not. And yeah, I'm being tough right now. What are the words you call yourself when you struggle to put on your belt or you got to wear overalls because you got your pants too big? This is called mental toughness right now. I'm kicking you in the teeth. I know it. But this is what I do so that you no longer have delusional thinking. You make a decision. Once you make a decision, you're going to walk your daughter down the aisle. It's done. It's over. There is no, you don't want to walk your daughter down the aisle. You don't want to be embarrassed walking down the aisle. Now, is that feeling of embarrassed enough for you to get your butt in gear? Because if not, we can go stronger. I can come harder. I can bring out both guns. Imagine you not being even at the wedding. Imagine somebody's got to stand in for you. A brother, a cousin, an aunt, an uncle. Maybe her stepdad. Because your wife can't do what you do. She's going to have somebody else find another provider for her. Told you I could bring the guns. Listen, I'm not fooling around with your success. Now, I can only go as hard as you'll let me and as hard as you're willing to go, but I can take you there. Do you see how I can get you there? Do you see how I don't even have to show up in your day every day if I got you wired in that you're going to be alive, healthy, and wealthy to walk your daughter down the aisle, or you're giving it up to a stepdad because they're still young enough. Your bride's a beautiful bride. You've raised amazing kids. Who wouldn't want those kids in their life? And then just before the door opens, imagine your bride thinking, if only Ben was here. He'd be so proud of her. See, when we say your why makes you cry, those tears you're feeling right now. Yeah. But now tell me, now look at your weight. Now look at your goal. Now look at your wellness. Is there any doubt you can do it? Or do you still have doubt? Either type in no doubt or doubt. What you got? He said, bring it. What you got? You got no doubt? I mean, this is done, right? You've made a decision for self. So Sammy wrote, I want to make sure. Go ahead. Who said that?
Yeah. So I've lost 45 pounds in 3 months before, but since then it's been fail after fail after fail. It's just freaking. I don't want to lie to myself again over and over.
Okay, so tell me what you want. Don't tell me what you don't want. So you told me what you don't want. The old story showed up. I love you. You know I love you, brother. The old story showed up and said, see, here's what your old story said. Tell him you did it before. Tell him you're not a loser. Tell him you're not a loser. This is what your old story is saying subconsciously. But you know you're a loser, right? Tell him you're not a loser. You can do it. You lost 45 in 3 months. You could do it, but you know what? You're just a wuss. Because you didn't have enough identity to say, I'm going to keep the 45 pounds off. So we put it back on so that you could have a new story. And the story is it doesn't work for me. Are you ready for it to work for you?
Hell yeah.
Okay. So then tell me what you want. Tell me, don't listen. You're going to find out if you guys enter into the mentoring program, you are not going to tell me what you don't want. I'm going to rewire your brain so that you only talk about what you do want. Now, there could be struggles in what you do want. There's old evidence of what you've done. But if you bring up one word of what you can't do, I'm coming for you. I'm going to step on your throat. Because how much, if you got water boiling, how much ice cold water does it take for me to put in that pot to stop the boil? Depends how big the pot is. Yeah, I hear you. See, the challenge is most of you have this roaring teacup of possibility and passion, and you get fired up and you make big decisions at big events, and you get home and somebody throws an ice cube in your teacup and the boil stops. We need a bigger pot. We need a cow trough. We need one of those big troughs you see horses drinking out of. Boil. It's called desire. It's called passion. And the thing is, what are you going to do after the emotion is gone? Here's the key. What's the key to that phrase? Anybody want to shout it out? If the question is what are you going to do after the emotion is gone? The key is right there. What did Napoleon Hill said? Every failure brings with it the seed of its own success. In that phrase is the secret. Who wants to throw out an idea of what they think the secret is in that phrase? Because right there is the golden rule.
It's the feeling of the state.
But it says, Diane, yes, you're absolutely right. What do you do after the emotion is gone? What's the key? What's the corollary? If we know what the failure is, what's the thing that keeps us going?
Well, keeping the emotion on.
Bingo. You want to know the secret to all secret? You want to know the secret that gets me right now? And you're like, holy crap, here he goes. We just fired him up. The thing that gets me going is that it's staying in the state of emotion. You lack the ability to keep your emotions high. Because people will call you weird and crazy and nut job and cuckoo, and I'm outstanding. Why do you think I say I'm outstanding? I can't teach you from theory. I'm only teaching you what works for me. Oh, and you will get hit. You will have some days where your emotions get challenged. Yesterday was a day like that for me. Big emotions yesterday. Huge emotions yesterday. So big, not sure I'm going to make it to today. Did. And here's how fast the universe, I'm telling you from my person, this is what happens. I'm giving you my personal experience. I knew today, I gave space today to have some wildly strong, positive, loving emotions. That was my intention this morning. And Sammy shows up. Sammy shows up on YouTube. On YouTube! I'm like, Shamil Sanchez, that's Sammy. That's her. That's Shammy. That's her. She's here. Shammy's here. And I had to ask. I knew it. I knew it 100% it was her. But Dowd shows up and says, okay, just check. And she showed up for me today. I know she's getting value. She always gets value. I love how she absorbs. She's this little tiny sponge that just soaks up and sucks up all of the joy and love and wants so much for her baby. But what she doesn't know is what she did for me today. Whatever it was that made her click, whatever it was that made her follow, she hasn't made a comment. She hasn't been around in 3 years, maybe 2 years, 3 years. And today of all days, she shows up. She thinks it's for her, but what she doesn't know, it's for me. So if you wonder, if I wonder, do I make an impact? Do I make such an impact that the crater that I make allows you to get into it and not blows you away from it? So there you go. Yeah, that's it for today. And then part of this will be, we'll set up spaces if you want where you guys can help hold each other accountable, little pods of success. We'll talk about that as well. So for those of you that, I don't know if I'll get through this. For those of you that have been to the ranch before or seen photos, Monday night, Fee and Dubby kind of go chase the cars on the side. Well, Monday night, Fee got tumbled under a pickup. No broken bones or anything like that. And she was fine. She ran all the way back to the house here, scared to death. But what we didn't realize is that she had wound up with some internal bleeding. And so yesterday morning, when I came in for the call, she had passed behind me. So every now and then, if I seemed a little different yesterday, that was the reason. Because right there, just behind me, she had passed on. And yeah, our little baby girl, Fiona. So that was my day yesterday. And it's wonderful to see some of the OGs here, RC here. Thank you, RC, for showing up. I needed that. And Shammy, you have no idea how much you made my day better. I needed it. And funny how God delivers. So that's why I really want you to succeed. Because I don't want you to ever miss a minute. I'm blessed that I'll miss what's coming, with Fiona, but I don't miss a single second or miss a moment that I could have, should have, would have. Right? She came here. She doesn't normally come into my, it's cool out. She doesn't normally sleep in my office. So she came in here because this was her safe space. So anyways, enough about that. So for those of you that know Fee, send her a love. And I let Diane know this yesterday. When you come to the ranch, you get to pick a tree. And I am your caretaker of your tree because I want your energy here. I want your spirit here. And Michelle and I both instantly we asked, so where do we put the first puppy on the ranch? Right. And we both looked at Diane's tree and she said, she's got to go right there. Because she used to look there and she'd sit underneath that tree. And so, yeah, so Diane gets to watch over her, as well as all of you. So there'll be a little plaque there here in a little while. But anyway, so that's the story yesterday. And so if I seemed a little off, that was it. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your joy. And it's just part of the story, right? It's just part of a story. So that being said, what'd you learn? What'd you like? What was your takeaway from today? What was your big ahas from today? What were your big ahas, your takeaways from today? On visualization, vision casting. Awesome. Go write your 1,000-word story, Michael. You're good at those things.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday.
My big takeaway from today is that I have not allowed myself time or space to sit with the visualizations and allowed myself to answer all the questions.
So great awareness, right? Yesterday was a lot about awareness. What's the awareness if you do it? What's the new story of, and this is for everyone, because I'm sure Heather is not unique in her description of, I just don't give myself enough time. I'm too busy trying to get done with the do, and I never get to the story. I never get to the state.
I believe that the reason why I have not allowed that to happen is that old story of the old story coming back that, I'm not, that I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy enough for these things that I say or that I think I want, to actually allow them into my life.
So how many of you would like a mastermind mentor moment secret to success right now? Drop a 1 in the chat. So here's the key. Listen to what, Heather, I'm on your side, right?
I know. Yes, I know.
I want you to pay attention to her words. This is important as you go build your organizations. This is important as you work with your clients, Heather. You started off with, when I said, how does that make you feel? What do you get from that? You said, well, I think, I believe. And then you gave me solutions that I won't be enough. I won't be worthy, which are feelings. So the focus was thinking and potentially believing, but the way that you feel, the way that all of your customers and clients are going to feel is an emotion that thought can't get them out of it. You cannot think your way out of an emotion. You can't. You have to emotion your way out of emotion. Does that make sense, Heather?
Yes, it does.
So tell me how you will feel, not think and believe. Tell me how you will feel when you do the time, when you put in the time.
Proud.
Write that word down. See, all too often, ladies and gentlemen, we come up with, because we're strategy, and especially the brilliant female mind. The female mind has 1,001 points that it needs to touch, all of these points. And then if we touch all these points, the formula will work. Does that make sense? So what if your filter now was, does this make me proud? Ooh, snap. See, if you all get that feeling, you want to know how I can mentor people to wild success, is I find the button that gets hit with a sledgehammer. So when you work out, Heather, does that make you proud?
Yes.
When you work with your clients and they get results they didn't know they could get, does that make you proud?
Yes.
Yeah. Is it okay if you're prouder?
Yes.
Is it okay if you become proud about your business?
Yes.
Is it okay if you become proud about your body?
Yes.
Ooh, what does that mean? That means when you walk into the grocery store, there's going to be some heads turning. Is it okay if heads turn when they see you walk into the grocery store? See, right? Dang, girl, can I get some fries with that shake? Doesn't that feel better? Isn't there a part of you, that little part of you, that little, the sexy part of you going, you think, Skippy, I need to be able to walk in and turn a head or two. Listen, I wouldn't be too excited about getting the bag boy excited because they're like 70 years old now, right? But if you, is it okay?
It is.
Is it okay if you're proud about your family?
It is.
As Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs as all of our families are. Is it okay if you're proud about your finances?
Yes.
Is it okay if you're proud about your mind?
Yes.
Might proud be the new tattoo you get?
Sure.
But isn't that an easier filter than, well, let me look at my vision goal. Let me look at my definite major purpose. Your definite major purpose is to be proud. Now, granted, in order to be proud, you're going to have to pay a price for that. And the price is doing my weekly or my bi-monthly Q&A sessions, right? You were doing those, right? And they were great. They were successful and everybody was joining you and people were excited. It takes discipline when nobody shows up to keep doing it. So be proud that you're doing. I'm proud I got to 1,980 something or whatever number it is we're at. I'm proud of this. There's days I'm not excited about it, but I'm proud that I got here. I'm proud that I showed up. Here's the thing that was such a booster shot for me, is that if I didn't show up today and I didn't hit go live, because for those of you that may not be paying attention, I forgot to click the record on the Zoom, but I do have the live going. And if I didn't show up today and do the live on YouTube, Shammy couldn't have been here. We couldn't have got, for those of us that know her, we couldn't have got to say, we love you, we miss you, you're amazing, you're the best mom ever, you're sexy, you're gorgeous, you're brilliant, you're all of these things. But I couldn't have gotten the shot in the arm to say, she still loves me. She's still here. She still showed up. Something pulled her back into my life. And see, here's what I've always talked about. Here's the key to marketing. For those of you that are dealing with society and need to build your organizations, there's push marketing, there's advertising, there's pull marketing where you pull them into your life. I'd rather be pulled back into your life. And Shammy was a perfect example of that today. She pulled me back into her life. And that I'm forever grateful for. So what can you do today, Heather? What can you do in the next hour that you have check the box for the hour that you're proud.
Get my workout in today for myself, not alongside a client.
Awesome. So if you do that, what feeling will you allow to flow that you never allowed to flow before?
Pride.
So sit pridefully, not pride, right? Don't cast your pearls before swine. This isn't that kind of pride. This is about you becoming a loving, amazing human being who gives more to life because you are giving it from this bucket of, I'm proud of what I know. I'm proud of my pain. I'm proud of my suffering. I'm proud of my experiences, my joys, my successes. And then I get to share them with you. So can you sit a little bit more with a little bit more pride in your spine? This is about physiology, ladies and gentlemen. This isn't about you going to think your way to anything. This is about the physiology. The physiology. You get your body to respond to you. You get your body. Shami, you said you want to be have pride and be proud. Sit a little bit more proud. I promise you, you will see things differently. You sit with an erect spine, people will go, are you okay? Do you have a stick up your butt? What's going on? I'm just proud of who I'm becoming. You have to be it first. Ben's got to lose the weight first in his mind before he can ever have it in his body. And then his mind's got to tell his body what anybody who's overweight, barring any medical condition, but anybody who's overweight simply because they don't have discipline, their body is running their mind. Period. Their body is running their mind. That's physical. That's the body saying, I'm eating the biscuit and gravy. When you decide that you are going to be your word, you can be proud in all of your areas. And that's a big emotion, isn't it, Heather? That's a big emotional word.
It is. It's huge.
It's huge.
And I don't know about anyone else, but I have this lifelong, it's just been ingrained to not be to not be proud.
Mm-hmm.
Prideful is not a good thing to be. So embracing pride in myself, the emotion of being proud of anything in my life is this is going to be a wall to scale.
So let's just break this down, because there was two key words. There's a word that was said there. There's a difference between, listen carefully, there's a difference between prideful and proud. What I saw is that you are filling up on pride. Look how good I am. I'm the best. Which is different than proud. Proud is you get to go help people. That's your skills. That's your talent. That's your gift to the world, is you get to go help people mentally, energetically, physically, emotionally, spiritually. So I would be proud about your ability to give back. Pride means you get. That's where I think that came from. Oh, don't be prideful. How good you are, how much you've got. Be proud of what you can give versus prideful of what you get. How does that sit?
Thank you for that reframe.
Because I heard it. I heard it when you said pride. That's a parental thing. No, don't be prideful. But that's not about being proud. I agree, don't be prideful. Prideful, it's right there in the word. Be full of pride. Proud is different than pride. I'm proud I get to walk through my town and nobody knows I'm a 6-time best-selling author. I'm so full of pride that I get to wear Carhartt boots and a Carhartt jacket. And I've got shirts that are probably cost as much as some people's weekly wages that they get. Prideful would be saying, look at my $400 shirt. Proud is, how can I be of service? Feel the difference?
Yes. And there's a world of difference there.
It's
Thank
a
you.
world of difference. Love
Ona.
it. Yep. Love it. Who else? Thank you. Anything else on that, Heather? Anything else show up while you were assessing and reevaluating?
Not right now, but I'm sure something will come up.
Okay, so let me ask a question to the non-verbal entities, the subconscious, the mammalian brain, all of that, the limbic system. Now that you understand you can be filled with pride and not prideful, and you can be proud, and you look at your tasks to do, are they easier or more difficult?
They're, I'm going to say that they will be easier.
Answer it from your pride, being proud perspective.
Yes.
It's effortless, isn't it?
It's yes.
Y'all,
Pretty much
y'all hear that?
effortless.
I need you to hear that. When you get your DMP, your definite major purpose, your word, your vision, your casting, everything you're about to go do, Ben, to lose 100 pounds is easy. And when you have that emotional shift, it's it. Now, there's going to be hell along the way because I have to rewire my brain, but to know that I'm going to do this from a state of being proud and filled with pride that I get to go serve my community better than I've ever served them before, with more intensity than I've ever done before, and for them to say thank you. In order to be proud, are you ready for the love? Ooh, snap.
My heart just leaped a little bit there.
Isn't it awesome?
Mm.
You get to go run tinctures and do things and lymph assist clean and all of that stuff with pride. Filled with a level of being proud that they get to come to your house. How cool is it for them to really, you got to focus to get to Heather's house. Because if you don't, you'll be in a ditch. So you really take them out of their world to take them to the end of the world where it's not really but you can see the end of the world from Heather's home. Her driveway is so long, FedEx just leaves stuff on the stone down by the driveway.
True story. True story.
Right? So be proud of that. I'm proud. I'm filled with pride when you hear me talk about the ranch. It's not where the vision is, but it's like Disney. He died, and they said to his brother Roy at the opening of Walt Disney World in Florida, they said, it's a shame Walt never got to see this. He looked at the reporter and said, if Walt didn't see this, you'd never see this. There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Last thoughts, comments, questions?
Yes, I'd like to say something,
Please go ahead.
if I can,
Yeah,
if you permit.
absolutely.
Today was a major strike for me, and this is why.
And we're on day two.
And we're on day two, yeah. And this is why. So I consider myself to be a visual type of person until today. Today I realized that I'm not a visual type person. I'm kidding, but today really struck me because I had an issue with the visualizing itself.
Mhm.
I would always think of the end product. I would always think of the end goal. And I thought that was enough. And obviously it's not, because I realized that since I'm doing that, I'm actually having difficulty with certainty, because one day I would visualize myself living here and doing that. And then on another day, if I feel different, I would visualize it totally differently. And I lacked certainty. And I did until today, because I realized that the certainty actually comes with the detail. So I never, and I actually wrote down every single question you asked about the evening routine, about the morning routine, about the type of skincare you use in the morning, about the type of skincare you use at night, about the morning shake you do, about the evening shake you do, about the coffee you drink in the morning, about the tea you drink at night, and so on and so forth. I never, ever have thought of that. I would just imagine myself being somewhere and that's it, lights out, you know. So for me, it was a major home run today to understand that as you were talking about it, as I was writing down the questions, um, I was thinking about it. And I had the full picture in my mind with absolute certainty. And the downloads just kept coming. They were just coming. And I understood that, you know, with certainty in detail, the overall certainty will come. And that's how you actually cement it in. And then out of that, an idea was born. I actually brought my other journal to capture the idea. And the idea was to understand how things work in general. You mentioned something, and that has become one of my favorite quotes, which is that life is happening for you, not to you. And then I looked at the lake and I started thinking about some stuff, and I realized and understood that as morbid as this sounds, all of this year had to happen. The accident, pain, the gruesomeness of it all. For some morbid reason, it had to happen because even though it was painful, even though it was gross and very challenging, it had to happen because if I rewind, if I hit on the rewind and I realize what happened 5 years ago and actually what led to this year was a couple of months before the whole trip to Las Vegas started. Okay, I met you. I met you in April. And by the time summer came, at let's say middle of August, that's when things started to happen. And 4 years later, we're here. Um, I feel as I'm living in a movie sometimes. I feel as if this is not real, that this is some kind of a simulation, and I'm just gonna wake up one day. But once again, as morbid as it sounds, I think, and this is what I believe now, that this had to happen for me to recycle, and this is a word you used a couple of years ago in the class. You recycle this interaction. And the last time I did this, I was okay. I haven't had the accident, but other things were happening, and we went through a lot of things, and it kind of prepared me, sharpened my saw for the next 4 years. And then right now, despite everything that happened, I'm gonna be in a better place by December 4th, 2025, because we're recycling the interaction, and I am thinking about stuff I never even thought about before. Haven't even thought about that being possible to even think about. That makes sense. And I'm very, very happy to be here. I'm very grateful to be here. And it seems to me that this has become a practice, though, over the last 4 years, that whenever I think of a problem, and if I set my intention on becoming aware of the problem and hopefully solving the problem, there might be a day or two of delay, and you will have a call talking about a technique, talking about a state, just talking about something that maybe happened to you, as you mentioned earlier. I'm sorry about that. But you would be telling a story about something completely different, and for some reason something would click in here, and I would understand that, okay, that's similar to my issue, and this is how he handled it. So let's see where this takes us, right? So those are the two ideas that I had today, which are creeping up right now, and it's getting serious. So rock and roll.
So think about it this way. So if we change the way we look at things, and yes, this year had to happen. This year always has to happen. What you might want to take into consideration is that most people get out of their own way as the sands of time flow through the hourglass a lot faster. Most people are put into situations as they get older to where they have to really make what do we love about old people, AKA old people? We just love their bluntness. You have the ability when somebody goes, yeah, but you don't know how much I suffered. Go ahead and draw a space. Show me 6 millimeters on your piece of paper. That was the difference between life and death for me. So I get that you're struggling. I wouldn't want you to have had my struggle. I probably wouldn't want yours. But I think you went through this so that you could get knocked down a spot or two, so that you could understand the massive foundation that you get to grow from. You got all the skills. You have all of the talents. You've just proved it by having a conversation, sitting with death, literally sitting with death for 24 hours, 72 hours in the room. For those of you that don't know the story, a guy died in his room, and because in Serbia they're so world class in the hospital, they left him there. There was no room in the morgue, so the dead guy, stayed in his room for 24 hours. Go to sleep, have sweet dreams, go to sleep, little, right? That was the cradle will fall and the bow will break and the cradle will fall. That's the old one. It was death in his room. He's like, yeah, but that was a blah, 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 blah. Dude, you got to let that settle in. You were given a gift. Oh, it wouldn't seem like a gift then, but now you get to choose how to open it. And you get to allude to all of these things. How many of you know, like, death looks like a sickle, right? The robe and the sickle, and he's walking around and he's coming for you. I sat with him and chatted with him for a day. He looked like a guy covered in a sheet. And let people, and then wonder, what the hell is he talking about? You don't have to tell them the pain you've been through. Just let them know that there's pain most people wouldn't want to go through. And that's why they come to you to be mentored. And it's okay for you to mentor 60-year-olds because you've had the experience of a 60-year-old that they haven't. You don't have to wait to be 35 years old to go teach, my friend. You just tell your story. You don't have to be any older than you are to tell your story. None of you have to be any older than you are to tell your story. Your story is as old as you are right now. You just happen to have a story that most people wouldn't want. Then you get to leverage that. Could you imagine if I had that? God forbid. The stories I'd be telling? I am jealous. Not really. But think about that. When you think about how many people who understand what it takes to inspire, motivate, and to have credibility, you have credibility, dude. You don't have to wait till you're 50 to have credibility. You created more income than most people your age. You're at the lake, like you said the other day. There's 50-year-olds and 40-year-olds, and you're the only 20-year-old in your 20-year-olds. Nobody else is there. Now, who do you talk to? You can't talk to your friends about this stuff. You're going to have to go talk to seasoned souls.
I talk to you, man.
I know. So I love it. Thank you.
Hey, good morning, my friend.
Hey, good morning, Mr. Bob Kane, horseman.
Well, number one thing for me was just how important each and every day is, and each and every interaction that we're blessed to make. And I just loved your little girl to death, and I still do.
Yep.
And that hit me. And we only have each opportunity we have one time. We'll have other opportunities, but we'll only have this opportunity to make the difference and the impact we can make right now. And what do we choose to do with that?
That phrase you've said to me before, leave it all on the field. Leave it all on the field. I think animals allow us and force us to do that, to be ever present with them. And it's just being present.
Yeah.
And as somebody who trains animals, right? I've trained all our dogs, so I get it. But you get to be there for the discipline and the desire and the joy and the happiness and the repetitive. This is, I got to get through this. We got to get through this. We got to break habits, right? So it's all about,
Yep.
so can we all create a habit of being proud of our moment? That when you leave that moment going, I gave all I got. Because when you give all you got, the universe shows up with a chamois and gives you more and goes, oh my gosh, you gave all you got.
There you go.
Up. And chamois
There
shows
you go.
up. RC shows up.
Yeah.
You show up. You're always here, but you're out in the middle of the barn doing stuff and you show up. Diane shows up. All of you show up. It's 4 a.m. and Silky's showing up. And she's got other nut jobs who are getting up at 4 a.m. to come show up. So, yeah, we get to leave it all on the field. And
you
God,
show up.
And I show up. And I chose yesterday to leave it all on the field.
That's right. That's what I'm thinking. With dealing with where your heart was yesterday, you showed up, brother.
So, and that, I think that's what Fee wanted me to do.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Or how about what she wants you to do?
Yes. And what she continued, because she's here right now.
Yes.
I hear the door flap because she would be coming in right about now. So I hear the door flap and I look over and it's moving. There's no wind. It's moving. And I'm like, okay, Fee.
There you go.
So, yeah. I love it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hoo-wee. Anyone else? Any last thoughts, comments? And I said these were going to go an hour. They'll go an hour unless there's something of wild value that I think we've got to get through. I don't want to break these up and go, okay, well, tomorrow we'll finish the vision stuff. No, if it's value, it's got to happen now. That's why this is not 15 hours. It's 15 sessions. It might be 30 hours by the time we get done.
John,
Content. Yes.
I show up because you show up.
Oh, thank you, Silky. And I show up because I know you're going to be there and I don't want you to yell at me. I love you.
I love you too, and I wanted to tell you I'm so very sorry about your baby. I relate. We had this happen last year, so I sent you big hugs and a lot of love.
Thank you, you. And I feel it. And I feel it.
And just one takeaway from this morning, I feel incredibly grateful, but incredibly overwhelmed. I'm not too sure where to start with all of this. I need to just start with one thing. And it seems like I need to start with everything.
Okay. So would it be okay if you started with one thing?
Yeah, for me, I think it would be, but then I would think maybe I'm not doing enough. I always feel like I'm not doing enough.
Okay. So what if we started with the biggest thing possible? That no matter how little you put into it, it's 100 times more than you could put into the individual pieces.
The biggest thing possible would be to start with my connection and my value to society, because that's what I need to build my business. And so that is the biggest part of what I need, yes.
Okay.
But there's many other things, certainly.
So what if you started with, well, let me ask this. So let me ask your logical brain. Are there moments in your world where your mind and your skills are tasked at different levels? If you're having a conversation with the owners of your company and as much of a friend and everything else that they are with you and to you, is the level of conversation a little bit more elevated if you talk about goal setting and planning, and versus when you're checking out at the grocery store, if you're not doing self-checkout and there happens to be the checkout person there, is the level of conversation different? But understand this, can you have the same intensity? Regardless of the level, can you show up ever present? And chapter 14 of Science of Getting Rich is the advancing man. can you give them so much value from your presence that they can advance easier in life? So when you sit with Chat and Chinita and Nat, do you give them value in your dialogue? Yes.
Yes, I hope I give them value. They keep loving to spend time with me.
So know that you give them
must be
value.
something.
So no, say I know I give value. Say I, because did you see her body? Did you see what Silky's body did? She backed away and she started doing all this stuff. Say I know I give value.
I know I give value.
So now imagine, can you give as intense a value that's appropriate for the checkout person?
Yes, I can.
So
I
now
like to smile at them.
So
you think
now
that gives value to them?
So now if you know that, aren't you already working on all things in your life? From there, you can, now it's just, my goal is to bring value in my body, in my mind, in my family, in my finances, and in my society, and faith if needed. Know that, what if you started off the conversation with everybody you're about to go talk to in your business, is you ask the question, how can I bring the most value to you in the next 20-minute dialogue? See, where all of the pressure is, Silky, for most of us, where it was for me 20 years ago, is that I had to give them everything I knew. When it didn't matter what I knew, it mattered what they wanted. Give them what they need, not what they want.
And that's what I say they want.
So if you ask people, if you start with the question, hey, listen, I love that we're going to spend some time together. How can I bring the most value to you in the next 20 minutes? How will you know this was a value-added conversation? And what you'll find is they have no clue. Most people don't know the value they're looking for. They have no intentions of what to receive. We're worried about what's going to get put on us. We're worried about what's going to be given to us. I want to know what I can receive. I said to God this morning, God, I'm struggling. I need you to give me something so far out of my control that I know I had nothing to do with it. And Shammy shows up on YouTube, of all places. She's never been on one of my YouTube. I don't think she's liked a YouTube of mine ever. Not because she couldn't, but something, God said, oh, I got you covered. I got you covered. He started planning this from yesterday.
That's
so
amazing.
What if you sit with this idea of you ask, before I give you value, let me know where I can be of best value to you. Because you'll have the answer, Silky. You'll have the perfect solutions, and you will feel even better going, oh my gosh, that was easy. See, there's no stress when you live from your highest purpose. And if your highest purpose is to bring value, there's no stress in that. Doesn't mean they're going to like it, but you're responsible to them, not for them.
That's a great idea. Thank you so much.
So do you feel the stress relieving? Now, it means we've got to get better, but it doesn't mean you've got to go start 35 fires and keep them all going. You start one fire called value. Heather's going to start one fire called pride, being proud, and you are going to light that shiitake up. And you are just going to burn value. And you can ask, was that valuable? Oh gosh, yes, because you haven't heard people say you're valuable yet. They value you, but there's a difference between being valued and valuable. Jim Rohn said it best. You want to become rich? Become valuable to valuable people.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes me feel much lighter. I'm glad
you asked.
And I'm glad I asked, because lots of times it's like, oh, I don't want to take up the time. We've already spent so much time. So I'm really glad. And I really am thankful, and thank you to you for taking the time for all of us.
So would you like some evidence of how valuable you are?
Yes, please.
Watch this. How many of you got value out of Silky asking that question? Type in value or type in a V. Look at all of the V's. Silky, you asked a question that you thought, oh, I don't want to be, we've already got, because you asked that. How do I get focused? And it's about bringing value. Look at all of the people you brought value to.
I love that.
So do you see that?
Yes.
So say, look, say this, look, I bring value.
Look, I bring value.
It almost hurts to say it, doesn't it?
Yes, because I often feel like I don't bring value. So this is really for me, and to see it. I'm a very visual person. Yeah, so thank you, and thank you to everyone that put a V for me. Thank you.
So here's what I would like you to do. Let's keep the evidence alive, Silky. So here's what I want you to do. Go ahead and expand the chat box for you and go do a screenshot. Take a screenshot of that. And that could be your purpose today, going, man, do I bring value? Go back and look at that picture going, all those people said I brought value and I didn't know that I did. So here's the thing. When you live from your value, we don't often know that we're giving it. Do y'all hear that? When Heather lives from being in pride and being proud of who she is, we don't know we're giving away the moment for somebody else to be proud, because what does it say? Birds of a feather flock together. Law of attraction. If you're sitting and being proud, what happens if all of our clients became proud about getting healthy? What if every one of your business partners became proud about becoming wealthy? What if the value you gave them was learning from a friend you learned from today about it's okay to have pride in what you do. Don't be proud of your failures. Too many people are proud of their failures. Ooh, that needs to go on a t-shirt. RC, that needs to go on a t-shirt. Too many people are proud of their failures. I used to be. Diane told me one time, stop that. When I would say, I didn't go through college, so therefore I can't be smart. Diane said on a call, stop that. I was proud of my failures. We look at Paulo Coelho in the book Manuscript Found in a Cross says, when he's talking about the cop, the main character, he said, the scars you carry are stronger than the sword that made them. The key to understand is that they are scars, not wounds. Too many people speak from their wounds and not their scars. When Heather speaks from operating out of being proud, she is operating from a scar, not the wound of prideful. Oh, this is so good. When Silky operates from the scar of living in value, she no longer operates from the wound of I don't have value. The I don't have value is now healed. It is no longer part of a story. We don't have to nurse the wound of no value. If you sit in value because of your experience, your world travels, your connections, the people you love, the people you serve, the people that are in your world, you get to provide value not only from them, but from everybody around them. You get to tell Chinita and Nat's story. You get to bring value to somebody who will never meet them.
Yes.
And so now you're operating from the scar of no value. It's healed. It is now a scar that is stronger than the sword that made it. I reread that book the other day. Oh my gosh. It's so valuable. Not a long book. Manuscript Found in a Craw. ACCRA, I think. Great story. Paulo Coelho, the guy who wrote The Alchemist. Most people don't know he wrote that book. I'm those little hidden treasure guys. So anyways, love it, love it, love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Love you too.
Love you too. Anyone else? Last thoughts, comments, questions?
Hi, Sean.
Hi, Diane.
You are such a blessing. I love you.
I love you.
Yesterday was 2 times bonus. Today was over 100 times bonus. So I just want to say thank you and for everybody that shared, because it was all those little nuggets and lessons that you were able to guide us through. And yesterday we talked about the gap and all those things that we put in the gap, the old beliefs and things like that. And today going through the pillars and putting a feeling to the things that we put into the 6 pillars, it just really, and you talked about the energetic feel, and I really felt that today. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome.
And it's we have to map over the future life. And thank you. I want to say thank you so much for guiding us through this and for wanting the success for us more than we want it.
Well, and so this is, and how many of us feel that way on our side? We want it more for the people we deal with.
Yes. Yeah.
The difference is the switch that allows you to be able to, I still want it more for you, possibly than you want it. What I needed to work on is what can I do to inspire you wanting it? Knowledge doesn't do it. Knowledge does not give you the feeling. The feeling gives you the feeling. And so that's where this 15 hours, 20 hours of content, it's not a 2-hour, a 90-minute a day for 2 days workshop. I think that because the way, and this is the way I feel about this, I feel that we have gotten to feel comfortable in the shallow end of the deal. When somebody does a 5-day challenge at 90 minutes a day, 7 hours, 8 hours, and we're like, oh my God, I don't know if I got time for 5 days. We're going to go spend 20 hours. And you may not be able to make it all, but you may watch the replay, but you can tell the difference between when it's live and when you're watching the recording.
Most definitely.
So I want to play at a deeper level. I want to get you into the deep end. I want to get you with your scuba gear on. I want to get you down to where life can be calm again. If you've ever been scuba diving and the seas are rough and there's 2 to 3 foot seas and you're on a 30-foot boat and it's rocking because it rolls and does all of that stuff. As soon as you get in the water and get down 5-6 feet out of the surface level, man, it is just, you can sit, if you've ever sat at the bottom of the pool, even in the shallow end, but just got down to the base, to the floor, and you sat there, everything was calm. And that's where I want to get you to. I want to get you out of the chaos to where you can make some world-class decisions that when you get back up to the top, you now become the mountain. The mountain says to the storm says, I am the storm, to the mountain. And the mountain says, I am the mountain. I am unaffected. I have my purpose. I'm going to be proud. I have my purpose. I'm going to be of value. I have my purpose. I'm giving. If you're any one of those, any word you choose, be very aware that you're also going to have the reciprocal. You're going to need to be okay with receiving value. You're going to be okay to be receiving somebody else's giving. This is probably the biggest secret I can let you in on. You're going to have to be okay with other people having pride for them and in you. What happens, Heather, if all of a sudden everybody you hang around with now is filled with pride that they get to know you? That was a big thing for me. I had to receive the recognition because what I do is life-changing. I get it. I get it now. I've gotten it for probably the last decade, but in the beginning, no, it's not about me. It's about you. I wasn't giving them a chance to give. So therefore I was giving to a block. I was giving to a wall. Till I received their giving, which made space in them to receive more, there wasn't this reciprocal.
It's funny, I had a friend yesterday and she won something. So I sent a message to her to say, congratulations, you should be proud. I'm so proud of you. And I said, and she said, well, I don't know. I just don't know about being recognized like that. And I did the exact same thing that you do. I said, it's being self-full. And I said, and JM3 yourself, because you've worked hard. She has worked hard this year to get where she is, and this was an unexpected thing. So I said, you know, people are listening and people are watching. So, you know, you have to be able to say thank you, because that's the result. So yes, thank you. You're teaching so much, and it's starting to go out into the world. So I just wanted to let you know that. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And you know, you've been around me long enough. You know, I'm not smart enough to teach this. Hang on. I have to teach it from experience, because I used to try to teach it from smart and theory and here, you should do this. I don't ever say you should anymore. Here's what I did. Here's what I think will work for you. But there is no more injected values. You want to do it, don't want to do it, I'm okay. I know that I'm giving you world class. I ain't holding nothing back. And some of you have been with me for 4 years, 5 years, and you're hearing stuff you've never heard before, because I get to go deeper. This isn't a 20-minute meditation. This is 20 hours of you kicking the stones to the side and clearing off your path. And you have your clear path. This isn't about you following my path. This is about you following yours. And if we speak from truth, and this is important for you to understand in your society part, if you speak from truth, you can lead the masses. But if I got to give you a plan because you're a mom of 3 kids and you're a dad, a single dad with 2 kids, and you've got a family that you're struggling and you got to move, those are all different plans. But if the plan is value, I can talk to all of you. If the plan is have more pride in your work and in your life, I can talk to all of you. Right? One of my mottos is to change the words I use. The words I use change things. That's it. All right. Anyone else? Last thoughts, comments, questions?
Your Honor, I want to put something on the record there. Okay. And this is what I've written down in my other thing.
Yep.
Just want to share 2 things, 2 ideas, that 2 downloads that actually popped up. One of them is the stuff I mentioned when we talked, and I called it the Olympian cycle. The Olympian cycle. I go to say, as morbid as it sounds, all of this worked out perfectly. I was injured, but I had sufficient, financial background to keep me running for a year without an income. I took time off to speak with Sean instead of whining about what happened to me. I decided to walk. I decided to fight, and I decided to forget about the thing that set me back and make sure that I'm actually the arrow to my arch instead of the difficulties I faced. And then I go on to say, and this is how I feel, this is really how I feel. For the first time when I met you back in 2020, and we had calls every day for those people who don't know. Every single day. I mean,
7 days a week.
7 days a week, man. Every single day. So 7 days a week. After the call we had, and the calls back then used to go for at least 2 hours, at least 2.5, 3. We went on for 7 hours once, Silky. 7 hours one time. All right.
We're actually doing
after
an
every
exorcism.
single yeah. After every single call, every single day, I would feel as if I could invent Facebook, man. So yeah, this is the first time I felt like that after almost 5 years, right? And this goes back to what I said, and I journal it, I capture the idea. I go on to say in my journal that the Olympian cycle that I'm personally going through, and I hope that every single one of you is going through it in your own arrangement, is, I'm just getting goosebumps. It's so perfect, and everything works out just so perfect. And one of the things I learned from Think and Grow Rich, which was detrimental to my path, was that you cannot get yourself to be overwhelmed by temporary defeat. And the word of the day, the lesson of the day, lesson of the lifetime for me today is the word evidence. Evidence that it is all perfect, man. It's perfect. Hey, there's Luis. ¿Cómo está? Mi hermano. That's my hermano from Puerto Rico. So,
right.
Yeah. Like I said, the word for me for today is evidence, and I really want to thank you for it. you're doing God's work, man. You are really doing God's work. You know, he gave you a gift, and you decided to share it, and ultimately we get better and we get the evidence. Therefore, you get the evidence of your gift, and we get the evidence of our path. And I want to thank you for that. Really. Thank you.
I love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm the guy at the end of the aisle with the sausage going, would you like to try a sausage? They're on special today. Go ahead, Luis. Thank you, AJ. Love you, brother.
Sean, I wasn't going to speak. I even got up the call. I didn't want to even do my Zoom. I did it quick. I said, guys, I got another Zoom going on. I'm gonna finish this now. Go do this, and I'll be back with you guys yesterday. And now I'm seeing it. It really is God that wants us to be here. Because you know what, Alex, and this is a testimony I'm gonna share about you guys, with you guys, about me and Alex and this call. I met Alex in 2020. With Sean here in this community. Also met Rob and Diane. See Heather, Ross. I think Brad was on that call too, maybe. Or if not, he's an old guy here on this call too, because I know him from a while now. If it isn't from the 2020
keyword being old. He's an old guy. Period. No.
The period. No, but
you, Brad.
What I want to say is, Alex was saying that, and I was like, man, I remember. Me and Alex basically started this entrepreneurship journey together, like actually. And when we both started, not too much results. After years have gone by, I've seen my growth, I've seen his growth, and I know that we have a factor in common. It's Sean G. Murphy. But he said something very interesting, and this is what really made me talk. I was with a kid doing a video 2 days ago, which I will share with you guys, but it's in Spanish and you're not going to get the message. But it's so profound that I just have to tell you guys. This kid is saying there's a prophecy. And this, I have never really believed in prophecies, but this kid, he has been researching for the past 5 years, 2 prophets. And he has been really shot about it. Like, he hasn't said anything because he was like studying these guys and validating their prophecies from years before. Why do I bring this up? There is a prophecy that 2025 is a year of acceleration. There is a prophecy that the year 2025 is a year of massive growth, of wealth transference for everybody who believes in God, for God's town, for God's community. And I'm seeing something very interesting here. A lot of people met on this call 5 years ago, disconnected, and suddenly, magically, stuff started happening to both. Well, I'm seeing it from Alex and me, because Alex is the person who I'm most connected to. Alex got in a bad accident. I was making over 10K a month and my business plummeted. And at that point, Alex was, and I was the same, like, I can bitch or I can do something about this. I can change or I can just complain about this. And I remember having conversation with Alex about like, oh yeah, bro, like you got this shit and my money is going down. And we both ended up here again, 5 years after meeting each other. And this is what the prophecy is saying. This is a year of reaping everything that you have been planting for the past 5 years. My message to you guys, girls, women, men, strap in for the next 4 years. Get ready. Absorb everything that Sean has to say. Because what is happening now is a boost of, you see Sean's background? That's magic. It's a magic boost. You see that guy in the center and all the magic going on around? That is actually what is going on right now. And we are being attracted to people like Sean, for a reason. Sean has results. Sean is a guy from God. Sean is helping people do what? Not help themselves out, not just that. Because Sean's message has never been about just help yourself. God wants to do something, and he needs Sean to prepare more people to be ready to do that. And now, seeing and connecting and hearing how other people have been getting rich for the past 5 years with Sean, thanks to Sean, and now I'm seeing, and this is what I'm really wanted to talk about. I didn't believe in God when I got to know Sean. And Alex didn't even believe in women. I remember Alex, I was with Alex, like I had a girlfriend at the time, and I hadn't met another girl that was called Kat. She was from this community, and I met her, and we kind of had a thing, an online community, and I actually, besides the point, Alex didn't want to know about women even. Like, he was just like on his own. He was just all about money, entrepreneurship. He was just like, that's it. I believe in gym and money only. Exactly. That was his mindset. And I've been seeing what God has been doing with him, with me. This gets a softy now. And that's good because he's Serbian and, you know, Russian, kind of Russian. It sounds like. But like, I see him now, and I see the leader that God has made out of him, thanks to and through Sean. And he's been getting rich on his own. But this is what God needs us to do. He needs us to grow with people like Sean. So look what I have here. This is why I'm talking to you guys. I wasn't going to speak. Waddles the Waddles. I'm reading this book in my community right now. And Sean starts talking about Waddles the Waddles. And you know what this book talks about? This book says it is the most noble thing that you can do for yourself and for God is to get rich. And Sean is actually teaching us how to do this. A lot of us have seen the results and will continue seeing the results. And Sean, I just have to say thank you, because I was just listening in, and I was like, these are all of the confirmations that this is exactly what is happening. This is a time of growth, change, acceleration, explosion. We need to accelerate right now. We need to get this clarity, because we will get richer than ever before, but not just so you can have a great life, but so you can be of service to everyone who you come in contact with. Because God is looking to make a change, and he needs all of us. And we're all leaders. We're here because Sean is teaching us MLM. We're leaders. We lead people. Sean is teaching us how to get rid of all of those limiting beliefs. That's the only real thing that stops anybody. It's those limiting beliefs. It's not even ever the money. It's not never the opportunity. It's that limiting belief of not what Silky was saying earlier. She never thinks it's enough. Silky, you know what Sean did in my life? He made me believe. He tricked me into believing I was enough. And I started tricking other people into believing that I was enough also. And then I was enough, and then they were enough, and then I had money, and they had money too, and then all of a sudden, everyone was successful. And I said, this old guy, he tricked me. I don't know if he ripped me off or if he helped me out. But I'm back here, so that says something. This guy's a scammer.
I'm glad you had nothing to say.
Bonus.
Hey guys, I just gotta say something after my mi hermano. The children have grown up, haven't they? The children grew up, eh?
I didn't even wear shirts. I have a shirt now, it's black.
Oh yeah, look at that chocolate boy. He used to now wear a shirt, not a single one on there.
It was so hot in Puerto Rico one time. He was in a garbage can with a trash bag to cool off. He was sitting in. You remember that, Diane? He's sitting in a garbage can with a black trash bag in it because he needed to be cool. Man, it was after the hurricane. There was no power, there was no air, there was no nothing. And he's like, man, I'm sitting in a garbage can. I'm still at the call. We're like, oh, this is crazy.
Get some mice in that bag and you're ready. That's a pool right there.
We connected, man. I mean, we surely connected, you know, Luis and I. I mean, I was like, I need to get money and gym and muscles. And then he was like, yo, you need to get yourself some chiquitas, man, you know, whatever. And I'm like, no, just gym and muscles. So it was good. It was very good.
I love it. And so here's the neat thing. We're talking about a 5-year process. Because you went through the 5 years, Shami says, happy tears. She's smiling because she was witnessing a lot of this as well. The reason that you went through it, it took you 5 years, you have the ability to compress. Every place that you've wound up at right now, you only have to tell the people how to get over the stumbling blocks. You don't need to tell them about the pain and the suffering. Find out what it is they want, the value they need to get to, and tell them what they need, not what they want. Which is why a lot of people struggle around me, is because I tell you what you need, not what you want. You're like, that's a lot of work. You're right. I'm rich. Let's move on. That's what my mentor would say to me. So, Luis, thank you for that. That was awesome. And what a confirmation for me, right? My spirit needed to hear that. So between you and AJ and all of you sharing your stories, and Shami showing up, today's a good day. Fiona's very happy. Anyone else? Last thoughts, comments, questions, takeaways?
Just a little picture of feed.
Hey, aw, that was the first event. Go ahead. Go ahead. Speak again, RC. So
no, just a little picture of feed that basically, you know, was underneath the chair at the first event, and when we all met her. Just God bless. Love you.
Thank you, brother. Ben, how do you get over the stumbling block? Use it as a step. Remember this, the thing that Hill said, with every failure brings its own seed of success. So what's the opposite if it's a stumbling block? It's a stepping stone. That's the thing that once you conquer that, once you get beyond that, you're starting with the finish line. Remember the story, if you were on the call, where we talked about the finish line? We always don't cross this line when we're having a fight with somebody. We draw a line in the sand. Close your eyes and draw the line behind you. Give yourself the freedom of not having to change and break patterns. Give yourself a chance you're already started. The fact that you're aware that there's a block, you've not done this several times. What you're doing now is succeeding. You are no longer starting a failure process.
What? Yes, please.
Change the way you look at it. You are no longer starting a failure process. You are starting a success process.
Right. No, what I was saying was I've done physically have drawn that line on the dirt and behind me and stepped over and gone forward is what I was saying.
Yep.
I was stating that as a quote.
Good.
People how to get over the stumbling block, not what the stumbling block will do to you.
So the way to get over the how is to have a new state. Because strategy, material cannot change material. A hammer can't change a car into gold. There has to be a state change. I can take a sledgehammer and beat a car from its car shape down into a shape that you wouldn't recognize. You'd think maybe it's still a car, but it's still a car, even though matter is affecting matter. Your matter, aka strategy, cannot change your strategy. No strategy can change a strategy. It has to be a state that changes the strategy. That's what Waddle said. It's not about doing certain things. It's about doing them in a certain way. Love it, love it, love it.
Very quickly, Sean, thank you so much for today. Everybody, I've been in the corner over, I don't know where I am on your screen, but up in the corner, amazed that I have the privilege of being in this community. Started with you, Sean. It's a pretty cool
community, isn't it?
But this community is amazing, and everything that was said, huge lessons, lots of tears.
Sharon!
Thank you, everybody, so much.
Sharon Gist is on the YouTube. So thank you. Yes. So how does that make you feel?
Absolutely privileged.
When you see the legacy that started with these guys, with RC, and you see these, again, they're still young kids because we all grow at the same rate. But you look at a Luis and you look at an AJ and you're like, they've been around for 5 years. What the how? What? And they've all catapulted in success. And what happens is we say, well, I got this. Right? Sometimes things fall. And then they come back. They know where the sauce is at. And this isn't about me giving them any more of mine. It's about them making sure they remember all of theirs. So that's the cool part.
And not knowing or seeing these names you've called out, but feeling their love has been super powerful. I just am so appreciative and grateful. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Sean, for putting this all together. Thank you for doing this. This is, I don't even know how to I can't even measure today. It's just over the top.
It's day 2, session 2.
I love you.
I love it. I love you too. Thank you. You are an integral and an important ingredient in all of this as well. So I love it. Anyone else? We already ran over the dam, so anyone else has got a question or comment? Okay. I love you tons. I appreciate you. Do some visualization. Some of you heard some great stories today to activate your visualization and visualize around a word, right? Your definite major, your DMW, your definite major word. What is the word? What is the feeling? What is the emotional? What is the emotional feeling you want that you will put a filter through? Right? Mine is to leave a legacy of 600 generations. Is today really of any value? It is, but does it have legacy? Does it have legs? Does it have gravity? You could listen to this call a year from now, 5 years from now, and I believe it'll have gravity. I believe it'll have impact for somebody who hears it. That's my goal, is to leave a legacy that this is for my kids, my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren, my great-great-great-grandchildren, 600 generations. I believe we'll still have a value in a place of love and honor and respect and pride and value and being proud. I think those will still be emotions that will make the human spirit tick. So, love it. Okay, everyone. I love you tons. I'm your head brain training, brain scrambling. Let's get this show on the road for 2025, the best year ever. I'll see y'all where?
At the next event.
At the next event. And somebody give me some Costa Ricas.
Pura vida.
Pura vida. We love you, Mark. And some Lydias.
Peace be with us.
And some queen of making decisions that serve you and all those around you, Jessie Lee Ward.
Boss Lee.
And in honor and memory of Fiona, I'll say our gurgly, right? That's what we would call her, our little girl, our little gurgly. We love you, Fiona. All right,
love
everybody.
you, Fee.
Love you, Fee. Oh, look at Fifi. She was just a mess. Oh. So, love you tons, everybody. We will see you tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel. Invite some friends. And these are on YouTube. There'll be a link for these and the homework is in the blog section and in the resource section. So today's homework will go up there here in just a little bit as well. I'm going to go out and feed the sheep. Love you tons. Bye for now.
Love you guys. Have a great day. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Roz. Love you.